Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and I seen this tag yesterday, or actually the day before yesterday. Been hemming and hawing on what decks to use for the last 2 days. Off Eris Witchcraft, her channel. She created it. It's called #Tarot in Wonderland, and it's based on the premise of the movie or the book Alice in Wonderland. And she did 12 prompts. I have 17 decks. I couldn't help myself. So let's get into it. So for prompt 1, it says, what deck sent you down a tarot rabbit hole? And I have 2 for this because one is my Encore Tarot by Cheryl Marchetti. I need to go out a little bit here. Okay. And because I never thought I would have this deck. It's red gilding. There's the backs. When I finally got it, I'm like, I can just buy any deck I want now. Like, this is crazy. So it sent me down a dark path. Because I just started going crazy buying decks I wanted at that point. Which I love each and every deck I bought. But this deck sent me down the rabbit hole of buying whatever. It made me feel like I had the freedom, where is she? To buy whatever deck I wanted. If I felt the need to have it. I'm looking for the moon card, which is the whole reason I bought this deck. This moon card is gorgeous. It is everything. I love the freedom in this, where she's broken the chain here. She's naked to the world, exposed, but she doesn't seem to care. And I love that about this card. But this was my Gettable Get deck. I thought I would never have it. When I finally got it, I'm like, okay, I can just buy decks if I want to now. And it kind of sent me down a rabbit hole of buying whatever decks I wanted. That being said, my very first deck was an RWS deck. I never really cared. We never really sat well together. The very next RWS deck I bought was the 2.0 Tarot. Because, and it's well loved, the coloring in this is gorgeous. And this is the first RWS deck I connected with. And I'm like, OMG, I think I love RWS. And I have like 7 now because of this deck. This deck is the deck that sent me down the RWS buying rabbit hole. And it's just stunning artwork. And I love how the coloring goes beyond the border. So it doesn't really, the borders don't really bother you. I'm trying to find the Empress because, hello, she's gorgeous. But yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous coloring in this deck. But this is me. This was the, look at that Magician. The Chariot. Gorgeous. I'm looking for her. With that guy. I love the yellows in this deck. And the light blues. Look at that. And the full. That. Yeah, here she is. Look at that. I mean, gorgeous. So, when I first got this, I'm like, oh, yeah. And from there, I had a kind of rabbit hole of RWS buying decks. But that's prompt 1. What sent you down the rabbit hole of buying future decks, or more decks. Number 2, what deck makes you smile like the Cheshire Cat? The only deck I thought of, the Zombie Tarot. Because I don't care how down in the dumps I am. First of all, I love the cardstock of this deck. I have no other cardstock like this deck. I don't care how bad a mood I'm in. This deck always makes me laugh. It's so funny and so beautiful. And I paid $14 for this on Amazon. I cannot believe it was only $14. Yeah, it's a gorgeous deck. It reads well. It can be hard-hitting, but at the same time, just the fact that it makes you laugh while it's hitting you hard. You don't really, it's a soft hit. You know what I mean? I just love this deck. It makes me laugh so hard. I don't do zombie movies, but this deck is hilarious. And that is my deck that always, never without fail makes me laugh. And the book cracks me up too. There's advertisements in there for like Zombie Gone to help yourself not smell like a zombie, even though you are one. Okay, so question 3. What is your favorite Tweedledee and Tweedledum deck? Matching Tarot and Oracle. And if we're talking same creator, the only deck I have like that is Journey of the Sacred Bee and Wisdom of the Sacred Bee Oracle by Kelly Burton. I have back the third deck, which is an RWS version of the Sacred Bee, with more people in it. But this deck, so that teal gilding, gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm going to put them both together and show you them together because stunning. Look at that purple. And I just stuck that in my candle. These are the edges of this guy. Purple gilding. Something was nagging me to get the Journey of the Sacred Bee. I did not want to get it. I was like, I don't have any desire to have bee deck. The cardstock on these, by the way, are my favorite cardstock of any. I have like 4 decks, like the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot, Super Lunaris Tarot. They're all this same cardstock, and it's my favorite. It's amazing. I love the tactile feel of it and how it makes that slidey noise. But as you can see, these cards clearly go together. They're gorgeous, gorgeous decks. Gorgeous decks. And something kept nagging me to buy Journey of the Sacred Bee, and I'm like, I don't want to. And then I bought it, and the second I got it in the mail, it was an instant connection. There was this instant love, this instant inner wisdom that came out, and I fell hard. And then as soon as I found out there was this Oracle deck to match, I'm like, I gotta get it. And I have the same feels with it. Both of these decks are amazing. They're just stunning together. And I have yet to do like a side-by-side comparison. Maybe I'll do that. I'm doing that now, but as you can see, they obviously go together because they're the same creator. Same creator. But yeah, that is my Tweedledee and Tweedledum deck because there is no other options. And I saw Amethyst Ascension had 2 separate sets of decks, and this was these 2 were her second set of decks. I'm like, how could you not use those? They're gorgeous together. And I might wait to do a comparison when I get the third deck, because it don't come out till January. I got it on Kickstarter. But it's the Sacred Bee. Also, it's yellow. Beautiful. Beautiful decks. So, for question, what was that, 3? Yeah, 4. What is your Red Queen deck? The deck that became your nemesis after buying it. And I've got a couple. And I've actually showed this deck quite a bit here lately. This is Tarot of the Sweet Twilight by Los Scarabero. This deck hounded me to buy it. I'm like, I don't want to buy you. And I edged it in black. I should have did it in dark blue because I didn't realize that was dark blue. This deck is weird and strange, and it should be right up my alley. It's not. I bought it because it just kept hounding me, buy me, buy me, buy me. And I'm like, I don't want to buy you. I don't care to buy you. I still haven't really worked with it, and I've had it for almost 2 years. I have come to the realization that it reminds me of an ex-friend that was like my best friend for years. Right before I got into tarot and my spiritual journey, we stopped speaking, and we haven't spoken since. And she was the ever adventurous Sagittarius wild child. If there was ever a deck that represented somebody, this is her in a deck. And I think that's why I bought it, but at the same time, why I don't use it. Because it reminds me of her, but it reminds me of her in a good way. But at the same time, it's like I'm mad at it because I don't use it at the same time. It's weird. So that is my Nemesis deck. I have a couple others, but that's the main one right now. So then question 5. Your Drink Me deck. What is your smallest cards? And I actually have 4 sitting here. I'm not going to go through all 4. I have the Gilded Tarot by Chiara Marchetti. The mini Line Strider Tarot, which I made a pouch for. And I can't see it because it's too tiny. I have the Steampunk Tarot and the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. All 4 of these are Llewellyn Publishing. That's why they're these size. I have miniature Los Caraberos, but they're bigger than these. These are the smallest decks I own. Very small mini Witches deck. I got this deck, one of my first decks I ever got. I got it, didn't realize it was a knockoff. I didn't even know what knockoffs were at that time. And then when I saw it as a mini, I'm like, well, I'll try it again as a mini. And I love it. I love that it's mini. I love, love, love it. Someday I will get the full size of this and this. I actually have this in the full size already. And I also have the Line Strider now in full size. But this is one of the first decks I ever got. And it was a knockoff, so I don't use it. It's bigger than this, but it's not as big as a tarot deck, a regular, normal, what it should be. But that's my mini decks. Yeah, my Drink Me decks. My Eat Me decks. Your Eat Me deck, the largest cards, and I've talked about this recently. Mine is 2. I have the Ancestral Path Tarot and the Fever Tarot because they are pretty much the same size, except the Ancestral Path Tarot is wider and shorter. This is thinner and taller. And I'm just going to... everybody's seen the Ancestral Path Tarot. I think a lot of people have shown this on this prompt itself. I'm not going to show the cards, really. I'm just going to show you a comparison of what a normal tarot size card compared to this one is. It's humongous. Huge. And then just a couple flips where everybody's seen this deck. Like everybody has shown this deck on this prompt that I've seen so far. And then we have the Cara Marie Moaning Fever Tarot. This is based on a series of novels. I absolutely love it. It's a very dark deck. It's even taller. I don't even know if I could compare it fully. Look how huge that is. Look at the difference here. See, the Ancestral Path Tarot is a little wider, but this one's like an inch taller. It's huge. These are the gorgeous backs. The fronts are dark. It's a dark deck because the books were very dark. So, but I love this. I love having something that depicts stuff I imagined when I was reading this book. That's the extra card. But a lot of these, it shows like supposedly takes place in Dublin, Ireland. And I just pictured the dirty streets of Dublin, and some of the cards have like images of the dirty streets of Dublin, which is what I was picturing. So it confirms things I was already thinking of for that deck. But that is my Eat Me decks. They are humongous cards. I cannot riffle shuffle these at all. And this is a mass market U.S. Games deck by Julia Kitchia Watts, which I use this one all the time. So next, I'm trying to make it through this before I run out of time. Number 7, you're late for a very important late. What deck gave you FOMO, anxiety, before you got your hands on it? And I have 2 for this one. And it's simply because they're both second editions. And when I finally realized or found these decks, they were already out of print. And then the second editions came along, and I'm like, I have to have them. This is the 5-cent tarot, the second edition, and the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle, also the second edition. This is a lavender coloring in this one, the 5-cent tarot. I saw this on Lisa Pappas' channel. Actually, both of these decks I saw on Lisa Pappas' channel. And I'm like, I need those decks. And then realized she was showing the first edition that was already out of print. And I'm like, I have to get these decks. And then when I contacted her, and I'm like, do you know where I can get these? Because you couldn't even find out where to get them. That's the 5-cent tarot. She's like, yeah, I don't know. I think they're coming out on Kickstarter in March or April. This was like 2 years ago. Sure enough, look at the gilding on that. Gorgeous. This is the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle that is from the movie Practical Magic. It's gorgeous. But both of these I wanted super bad. I had anxiety over not having them in my collection. And then literally, this was a time where I felt like I was manifesting everything. There's like a million spreads for that, but that's that deck. This was at a time where I was like, I felt like every time I wanted something or a deck, it would somehow come back into print, or a second run was being run. And it was just like crazy because I felt like I was manifesting all these decks. And I'm like, what is happening? But yeah, that's my two, the main two. The first two I realized I have FOMO about. Yeah, that I was like, I need them. And then the second editions came out and I was able to get both of the second editions. So that was question number 7. Number 8, White Queen deck, colorful and lighthearted. And this one I had a hard time with because I don't have many colorful or lighthearted decks. But the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Pooman Law. This is published by Llewellyn. I was like, yes, this has got to be it. It's sweet. A lot of my decks I have are either, because it says White Queen deck, colorful and lighthearted. A lot of my decks are colorful, but they're dark. And if they're lighthearted, they're like usually 1 or 2 colors. This one is the only one I thought of that has both. It's got a lot of vibrant colors in it, not just one color. I mean, the purple is a dominant color in here, but there's reds in here, and oranges, and purples, and blues, and yellows, and this is the deck I thought of. It's just a gorgeous deck, too. That Empress. Beautiful. So it's the only deck I thought of where I was like, it has both of those in it. So, yeah. That is the Shadowscapes Tarot. Oh my gosh, I have so many more decks to show you guys. Okay. Number 9, show me a deck with artwork as mad as the Hatter, and that would be the Surrealist Tarot by Los Scarabero. Yeah. This deck is crazy. There's so many things going on in it all at once. It's nuts. 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 And I'm almost out of time, so let me run through these. That's a crazy, crazy deck. I immediately thought of that deck. I was like, that's, of course, the Mad Hatter deck. What deck would you take to a tea party? And I got 2. I immediately thought Tarot the End of the Rainbow by Los Scarabero, because if it's like a Mad Hatter tea party, this to me would be the deck to take. Even though normally I would take an RWS. This is like, there's a lot of bright colors in it. It reminds me of an Alice in Wonderland kind of deck, which is cool. But as someone that's been to a tea party recently with very highfalutin whatever, I would take the Tarot of Japanese Poetry also. It's very hats and gloves and pearls kind of deck. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Gorgeous deck. It's just that kind of deck. So there's that. I'm sorry, I have 2 decks left, and I'm trying to get through this. Number 11, your Jabberwocky deck. The deck is dark and mysterious. And a deck that's dark and mysterious. And that would be my Haunted House Tarot by Los Scarabaro. We have a theme tonight. Lots of Los Scarabaro decks. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It actually has a storyline between cards, and I love that. And it's very dark and mysterious. Like that right there. Where's she going in the middle of the night? Crazy. Nope. But yeah, that is my crazy, oh, what is it? Oh my gosh. Somehow time has slipped away from me. Sorry. That was my dark and mysterious deck. Number 12, which is the last one. Show me your Alice deck. Either an actual Alice deck or a deck that's always taking you on a journey when you read with it. And I only have the Alice in Wonderland Tarot deck by Minerva Siegel. Nobody likes Minerva Siegel, but I love it. This was a Barnes & Noble exclusive. It came in a bag, and I just realized that. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've rushed these last few, but I'm trying to get them all in before my time runs out on here. Love the cardstock. Love the backs. Love the deck. It is a pip deck, but I've said before, the ones that are not pips are so hard-hitting that you need that kind of breather in between. Because not all of them, not all the pips are pips. It's partial pips. And it's beautiful. Beautiful deck. So that is my hashtag Tarot in Wonderland VR to Eris Witchcraft. Sorry if I went through them too fast. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And you guys have a good night. Bye.